Just got here to RRT Motorsports. Already connecting to the car. See if, I think right now we're just looking to see if it connects. Give it a shot. A bunch of Evos. Yeah.
Hello?
Alright, I got a couple of questions here. So we can't tune it today, obviously. See that on video. That's not gonna happen today. It's at, so the car's at like 26 pounds of boost. That sound like a lot for this?
No, 26 should be about normal. Is it spiking at 26?
Spiking 26.
And then comes down to what?
23, 22.
Yeah, it's about normal.
That's fine.
I mean, once you get rid of that boost controller and actually put it on where you can do ECU control, we'll be able to get it like more flat. You know, we'll probably have it like not spike as much. We'll probably hit it like with 21, 2 and then taper it up instead of the opposite right now. Okay. So you actually are spiking high and then going low, which I don't want to see that on stock mode. I want to actually see it opposite.
Okay.
Yep. Because you're getting torque spikes right there, and that's what breaks these shits. Right?
Yeah. So. Yeah, and I noticed too, like the air-fuel ratios are like 12:5.
That's very lean.
1?
Yeah, don't beat on that.
No,
that's
no
lean.
Fun.
It's pump gas, right? 93.
93.
Yeah, that's lean. Don't beat on this thing.
No, right. Sounds up.
Is that a stock turbo?
I think so.
Does it have a fuel pump in this car?
It does.
And then you're on stock injectors?
No, they're bigger.
What are they?
I got them in the car. Let me see. I'll show you.
I've got it. They're FICs?
Yeah.
850s? Okay.
850s.
Yeah, so that's a stock turbo.
Okay.
So whoever tuned the car last just kind of went a little bit lean.
Yeah.
And it probably,
I guess supposedly,
it probably feels good there, but it's not safe. That's really...
Supposedly, I guess the octane is higher in Japan?
Yeah, but even on higher octane, I would not want to see 1250s for air fuel. That's a wide open throttle you're seeing 1250s?
Yeah, it goes 1250 and then it comes back to 12.1.
Still a little bit lean. I want to see like 11, right. 11, 2.3 range on pump gas.
Okay.
Is it on stock cams or no?
I think so. Doesn't sound aggressive. It does have coilover plug.
Okay. I mean, that should be your next step, really. Really should do cam springs retainers as things wake up, especially being in a, you know, non-Mavic motor,
Yeah. Like a 272?
Yeah, like an S2 GSC or a Calford, something in the 272 range, absolutely, yep.
Yeah, okay. Another issue I'm having is that it shuts off. Like if I'm on a hill, or like, if I come to the light, it just shuts off.
It's probably it's probably in the tune. Yeah. It's either that or your air control motor's no good, that thing that's underneath the throttle body. Okay. It'll be adjustments we can make when we actually tune the car. Yeah, when we tune the car, or it's going lean rich or something's up with them. I mean, you said it's been tuned in Japan, so who knows?
Who knows, right?
What is going on, you know?
All right, that's all I got. So now I'll try to look. So I'm looking for a ROM definition for a stock Evo 5.
That's if you want to keep it to Evo 5, unless you want to go to an Evo 8 ROM, which you kind of want to get all this thing working. So we should definitely try to do it on Evo 5. Def and ROM in here. Yep. So you can keep it all. So yeah. Let me do a little research on trying to get the def for this for an Evo 5, and then I'll give you a call once we get it, and then we can do it on a Saturday or something.
Alright.
It might be next Saturday or Saturday after that, we'll see.
Okay.
It all depends on weather too, because usually Friday, Saturdays we try to go to track, so if it's really nice out, and if we didn't go on Friday, we're going Saturday, so it all depends. Alright. It'll kind of play it by ear, okay?
Alright. Kind of bummed we didn't get it done today, but that's fine. I'm not in a rush.
Yeah, better wait to get it done right, you know?
Just don't beat on it.
Yeah, if you're seeing those air fuels, do not beat on it. You're coming here. You're not going to be coming here for a freaking tune, you'll be coming here for a motor, so don't beat on it anymore.
Oh, man. Okay, all right, no more fun.
Take it easy.
That was a no-go. Unfortunately, these cars are so odd. The car was originally tuned in Japan. Obviously, it's not the same as what we have here in the US. And unfortunately, he couldn't get the ROM. It's something called the ROM definition, which is pretty much the file that he has access to tune the car. So what he's gonna try to do, and I'm gonna try to do, just try to find a stock Evo 5 ROM definition so that he can upload that and then modify that. So it was a no-go today. It is what it is. Well, stay tuned, because we will be finding that file hopefully in the next week or two. I'm gonna be bringing the car back to then plug in so that he can make everything work. The option was loading a Evo VIII ROM in the car, which is a very similar setup, but I think there's a few things that are different on the Evo VIII compared to the Evo V. And the Evo V has some factory features that I do want to retain, which is the secondary air system. I want to have an option to turn that on if I want to, or turn that off. I don't want to eliminate that. That's kind of like a back way of doing it. I bought an Evo V for a reason, right? And these are some of the characteristics that make this car great. You can always just rip everything out and go a different. I mean, hell, I could rotary swap this car if I really wanted to. But obviously, we want to retain Mitsubishi Evo V era correct, you know, components to this car. That's what makes this car great. That's why I won't be eliminating the AYC and some of these key features that are Evo V specific. So, in the meantime, what's up, YouTube? Today we're gonna talk a little bit about getting the Evo tuned, which is, by the way, right here. I'm also on my way to go help out my buddy Dez, which you all know, Analog Spec on Instagram. Has the awesome Cosworth RS that he's working on and finally got wrapped up, and he's asked me to help him just clean it up, just kind of get him started. He hasn't detailed in a while, and he just wants to get it started, and I think he's probably gonna wrap it up, so we're gonna head his way and get him started with the detail. But for this video, we're here to talk about the Evo tunes. I was finally able to get the Evo tuned after what seemed to be a few weeks. Anytime you get a car tuned, there's always like something that happens or something that comes up, and of course this was no exception. However, that's okay, because the car is definitely tuned and it's running better than it ever has. When I got the car, the previous owner told me it needed a tune. It was expected, so I wasn't worried about it. But we were seeing some unfavorable air-fuel ratios where it was starting to get a little bit sketchy. And I know for sure that some of that stuff you don't want to play with because you don't want to blow up your engine. So it was absolutely lean, and that's due to many reasons, really. The car came from Japan, and it was remote tuned using Japanese fuel, which some people say is better than US fuel. Everything is working as it should, and I'm pretty excited about it. So today, actually this morning, I went for a very long ride, over an hour ride. I've had it tuned now for a few days. There's just really been so much going on why I haven't updated any new videos. So much going on. Some good stuff, some not so good stuff. But I'll have updates shortly. But today we're here to talk about the Evo. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna mount the camera. Since I'm cruising over to his house, I'll turn on the camera, give you guys my thoughts, do some soft pulls so you guys can see the differences. We're still working on a couple of issues where it's so weird with this car. There's so much to understand, but the car had the two-step working on the previous tune, and then one day it just stopped working. It's all activated, but for some reason it's not working. So me and my buddy Eddie, we had some ideas of why that might be. We were chatting about it today, actually. So I fought a few other issues with the car. Some of those issues being ABS related, which was kind of a pain, which we're still kind of working out. But today we'll try to do the two-step if it works. Hopefully it does. I'll set up the GoPro, and then just some driving. Just kind of give you guys some idea of like how it went and what I think about the car so far. We're heading over to Dez's house. Let's talk a little bit about the tune itself. So now the car is completely tuned. More important than anything, what I realized was watching air-fuel ratios while I was getting on it, I was seeing 12.5, 12.8 in some cases. And on a turbo car, that's not what you want. And that's air-fuel ratios. More favorable, you want to see closer into the 11s if you can. Obviously, the more rich, it's going to burn more fuel, but it is safer. Now you can't get too rich because that can cause an issue as well. But now the car is set up the right way. I've been enjoying it. Everything's good. I did learn a lot from getting the car tuned. Like, for example, the car is on a Greddy electronic boost controller, and what it's pretty much doing is just regulating boost. The car has two options. I have a low boost option and I have a high boost option. It has a little limiter, so it'll let you know when you're hitting that higher boost, and it regulates it to make sure that you don't go past that. The problem with these units are that it's not boost by gear, right? So you're gonna get that hit of boost, and it could be in an unfavorable situation, like maybe you're in 5th gear. What happens in that scenario is you get all the torque, right? And if you're in low RPM, that's where these cars kind of suffer. That's where you see a lot of people blowing their motors. So thanks to the tuner, he actually let me know that, and he pretty much said just keep it on high RPM, which is pretty cool. So I know a little bit about the Evo. I had the Swisher car. That car just kind of beat on it. This car I want to be a little bit more careful with, being a little bit older and really, really hard to find parts, but I still want to enjoy it. So that was a pretty good advice. So now pretty much anytime I really get on it, it'll be in a lower gear, like 1st through 3rd, and then I'll also try to get on it mostly in higher RPM. His words exactly is, well, you don't want to send a rod. And it makes sense. About to jump on the highway. We'll do a little pull getting on the highway so you guys can hear it and see what it pretty much sounds like. All right, getting on the highway here. I am in 2nd gear, 3,000 RPMs. Let's hit it. I mean, it's pretty good. We hit rev limiter because I wasn't paying attention, but this thing is, I was never able to drive it that hard in the past because I knew there was an issue, and I didn't want to blow it up. But now, their fuel ratios look great. As you can see, the car feels great. It's really funny driving these older Evos. They're actually not that fast at all. And I realized that Japanese cars are pretty much geared for shorter driving. So in 5th gear, I am at really high RPMs. And like I said, it maxes out pretty quick. Just getting to Dez's house. We're gonna show you guys some of his fleet, some of his cars. Dez has very interesting taste in cars, kind of like I do. But some really awesome cars at the same time. But we'll let him tell you about them. If you follow me on Instagram, you've definitely seen him before. But if you don't, I don't know why you don't, but you'll see his cars today. All right, so we are in the man himself, his cave. Let me show you a little bit of his car. So today we're gonna be working on the Cosworth RS. This thing is absolutely wild. We're gonna help him detail it. I think he already started a few things and just kind of attacking it. So hopefully we can work some magic on that thing. The paint is really good. You guys know the Lancia. Like, how crazy is it seeing 2 of these things in one garage? Like, that's crazy. This car is pretty legendary. I mean, it speaks for itself. It's really awesome. But, Dez, what happened, man? Tell us.
Yeah, so, you know, stuff happens. Got a little damage on the, little boo-boo on the Lancia here.
Oh, man.
Yeah, so
Is this stuff hard to find or no?
No, and actually, one of my body guys said it can be easily repaired from the back, so as long as the bumper can be pulled off.
Yeah, then, that looks like a bumper support.
Yeah, that's just the bumper support, so I should be able to pull it out. But, yeah, anyway, yesterday... Oh, yeah,
you got the complete...
Yeah, I got everything, so... Yeah, once they pull it off, they can fix it from the back and then do everything. So thankfully, it's not too bad. It's definitely salvageable.
Oh, dude!
But
if you didn't have this, that would have been bad.
That's what he said. Yeah. If I didn't have this, then it would have been really made harder job. But I had something laying on the garage door, and I went to pull out the Kazi, not remembering that I had it. And again, stuff happened. So
we talked about being in a rush.
Yeah,
we talked
exactly.
about that, man.
So I was pulling out the car, and next thing you know, I hear pop, And thankfully, it's the bumper and not the body. You know,
I know.
You know,
no, this actually, this will get repaired. You'll never even notice.
Exactly.
Yeah,
those
guys are pretty good.
That's what he told me. He was like, dude, like this is like the
flat
best
surface, and this is flat. So I can imagine that this is gonna be. Don't lose this.
It's funny. We've been talking about like the best case scenarios. I've always been getting lucky, right?
That's true.
With the oil pressure on the Kazi.
That's right.
And then this is like, you know, it could have been worse.
Des records a lot on his stories, so if you want to see his stuff on the car, he does a lot of stuff, like more than most.
I need your YouTube skills. That's what I need.
We're gonna talk about that today. We're gonna get him started so you guys could learn more of his stuff. Like I said, really cool. He does a lot of this stuff himself. I mean, just look at this thing. Like, are you kidding me? Des, this is how I met you. Was actually I saw him driving the Cosworth, and I was like, I drove past him. I was like, oh.
And I see somebody do like a B, like you know, spin around.
I was like, wow, that's pretty cool. Somebody's got a Cosworth. And I went like another quarter mile, and I was like, what? I'm like, somebody has a Cosworth? I pulled into the
gas station, and then like you pulled in behind me.
I couldn't believe it. I'm like, wait, I was like, are my eyes deceiving me? Is that actually I mean, look at this thing. So I never do that. And I turned back around, and I was like, I gotta meet this guy. So, yeah, I ended up, you know.
Real recognized real.
Yeah, we've been friends ever since, but, can I show him the cater?
Sure, let's see, it's, this bay here is a little bit of a mess, but, you know.
Remember I told you guys, Des has odd tastes in cars, kind of like I do. And what does the man have? Of course he has a Caterham. These things are pretty wild. He's done a lot of work to this thing too. Like I said, he posts a lot of stuff on his stories, so check out his stories. These things are awesome. Handles analog spec, obviously. He works on a lot of analog stuff. I actually drove this car. This thing is pretty wild.
Oh, you know what? I need to have you drive it again since I made some changes to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's
what size is the engine?
It's a 1.6 liter cross flow engine. It's a period correct engine for this chassis. This chassis is a 1980s Lotus 7/Caterham 7. It's got 40 millimeter. They're Weber carbs. These are copies of the Webers. I have the original Webers. But I'm going to be rebuilding them over the winter, so I have these. Yeah, these are.
Oh, so these are not the same ones that I saw.
They're the same exact, but they're replicas of the Webers. So the circuitry is a little different, but you can use the same jets and everything. So I just use these to get me through the year, and then over the winter, I'm going to rebuild fully the Weber 40s. We got electronic fuel, electronic.
You know he knows what he's doing when there's that many. What are these things called? Motion?
Yeah, motion tubes. So on the fuel injected cars, I have my laptop. Yeah. On my Kazi, I got the laptop here. On this one, I got my emotion tubes and my jets.
Oh, that's great. Yeah. And what does this thing weigh, Des?
It's about 1,000 pounds.
Come on, that's insane.
It's like a go-kart, you know?
It feels like that. If I could describe this car...
Yeah, you drove it.
Yeah.
What were your thoughts on it?
If I could describe this, it was you're 10 years old and you're driving a go-kart. Like that same feeling, you've already know what it feels like to drive this, because it feels just like that.
The noises,
I mean, and there's nothing. I mean, there's no, there's no cabin, so you're hearing all this stuff, you're smelling it. It's just so awesome.
And no driver aids, no ABS, no traction control.
Right? No.
Your traction control is, your right foot.
Yeah, your right foot. Jump into it. We're going to wrap up the video. Let me turn it my way. We're going to wrap up this video for now. But now we're going to get started on working on his car. So that's pretty much sums up this video. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Thanks, guys.